Welcome to 365 Christian Women, where we celebrate the strength, faith, and grace women live out every day. You'll hear real stories of real women who faced challenges, embraced hope, and learned to trust God through every season. These stories remind us that He's always at work, shaping hearts, building faith, and writing something beautiful through every woman's journey. Askew, England, the fair gospeler. Born in 1521, Askew was an English writer, poet, and devout Calvinist preacher who studied the Bible and shared it by reading in public. But her public reading came face to face with King Henry VIII's decree that women were only allowed to read the Bible in private, and to do so was to be branded a heretic and arrested. By the time Anne was married, she had discovered the Protestant religion, much to the anger of her Catholic husband. He tired of her preaching, and after consulting a priest, he had her removed from their home. It was much to Anne's relief. She moved to London, where she hoped to get an audience with King Henry to request a divorce. But the king had been made aware of her reading the Bible in public, and he denied her request and assigned a spy to keep a close eye on her, one who had a much deeper motive. Anne continued reading the Protestant Bible in public at every opportunity. She knew she was violating of the king's rule, but her need to share the gospel meant more than the risk she was taking. Anne was also attending secret Bible meetings with other women of like mind, one of whom was the king's wife, Queen Catherine. Anne was an amazing evangelist, and people came from all around to hear her read the Protestant Bible. They were enamored with her, a woman of such high station who would come to the streets and give herself to the poor. She soon became known to all as the fair gospeler. But Anne was also getting the attention of powerful people who wanted to stop her. One of them was the politically dangerous Bishop of Winchester, Stephen Gardiner, who was plotting to destroy radical Protestants. He did not like the fact that Anne was educating the poor with Protestant texts, and he felt the only way to put an end to it was to put an end to her. But first, he wanted to get Anne to divulge the names of the other heretics that she knew. He had her arrested and taken to the Newgate prison and interviewed by the Bishop of London, Edmund Bonner, who was known as Bloody Bon because of his ruthless prosecution of heretics. But she would not reveal their names, especially the name of Gardiner's primary target, King Henry VI's wife, Queen Catherine. Gardiner believed that Catherine holding Bible study among her ladies without the king's knowledge was deliberately undermining the stability of the state. Anne was examined by the crown 3 times, eventually being convicted of heresy and condemned to execution by burning. But Gardiner would not be denied. He needed her to implicate the queen, and he sent her to the Tower of London to be tortured. She was taken from her prison cell and shown the rack. She was told to remove all her clothing except her shift, and they put her on the rack, tightly fastening her wrists and ankles. The lieutenant of the tower turned the wheel, slowly tightening the ropes, lifting her 5 inches above the table. When the pain became unbearable, Anne fainted. She was lowered to the table, only to be revived and once again raised off the table. They repeated the procedure 2 more times, each time turning the handles harder, so hard that she was drawn apart. Her shoulders and hips were pulled from their sockets, and her elbows and knees were dislocated. Her cries could be heard outside the tower. About her account of the ordeal on the rack, Anne wrote, "After that, I sat upon the bare floor for 2 long hours, arguing with the Lord Chancellor. With many flattering words, he tried to persuade me to leave my opinion. I said that I would rather die than break my faith." As a result of her bravery in the face of excruciating pain, Queen Catherine's participation in the secret Bible meetings was not revealed to the crown, and for that, Anne would pay the ultimate price. Because of the damage done on the rack, Anne had to be taken to the stake on a chair where she was tied down with chains and set in a pile of wood that had been arranged to burn slowly to inflict as much pain as possible. But someone had taken pity on her and covered her with gunpowder to ensure a swift death. Anne maintained her dignity and her courage to the end. On July 16, 1546, she met her fate in front of thousands who flocked to witness the burning of the fair gospeler. She was only 25 years old. The living word of the Lord says this: "Blessed are those who are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are you when others revile you and persecute you and utter all kinds of evil against you falsely on my account." Matthew 5:10 through 11. My name is Gabrielle Christie, and I am the Next Gen pastor at Landing Place Church in Commerce City, Colorado. Anne was relentless. Anne risked her marriage, lost her marriage, and lost her life in the most excruciating way. And she was only 25. 5 years younger than me. When I read this story, I was baffled about her unwavering faith, dealing with torture that was unwavering, relentless, brutal, not human-like. It tore her body apart because she was propelling the gospel. Because she, as a woman in the time, was doing something that no woman should have done. Having Bible studies, going outside and sharing the gospel fully with her full chest. My challenge to you and I today is this: has there been a moment in our walk where we have ran into objection? Has somebody told us to question our faith, to not continue in our faith? Have you had a situation in your life where your friends who are non-believers are saying, "Where's God now in the midst of this hardship?" May you still see through Anne's life, through her living testimony, that till her very last breath, she knew that she was not going to break her faith. She was not going to turn away from God. She knew that God is worth everything, even our lives. May you know that sometimes in friendships and relationships, people will question who we are as people because we choose God. But that God promises something so much greater, even at the sacrifice of relationships and friendships. That God is still good all the time. Again, blessed are those who are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are you when others revile you and persecute you and utter all kinds of evil against you falsely on my account. When people see you, may they see God.